All right. I'm sure you've heard the story of Noah and his ark. Just about everyone does. I'm sure of it. I want to read to you Genesis 8 verses 6 through 12. We're going to talk about the raven and the dove. At the end of 40 days, Noah opened the window of the ark that he had made and sent out the raven. And it went to and fro until the waters were dried up from the earth. Then he sent out the dove from him to see if the waters had subsided from the face of the ground. But the dove found no place to set its foot, and it returned to him to the ark, for the waters were still on the face of the whole earth. So he put out his hand and took it and brought it into the ark with him. He waited another 7 days, and again he sent out the dove from the ark. And the dove came back to him in the evening, and there in its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. So Noah knew that the waters had subsided from the earth. Then he waited another 7 days and sent out the dove, and it did not return to him anymore. Yeah, there's a lot of biblical numbers here. There's 40, there's 7. Even before it talks about 150 days and the 7th month and 17th day. There's a lot of symbolism in Genesis, all over the place. And what spoke to me was when it talks about the raven, it said it went to and fro until all the waters were dried up from the earth. And that immediately set off alarms in my head. I said, wait a minute, that sounds familiar. I'm going to go back to Job. Job 1, verse, let's see. I'll read 6 and 7. One day the heavenly beings came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" And Satan answered the Lord, "From going to and fro on the earth, and from walking up and down on it." So immediately, when I read about the raven, I connect it to Satan. And when I read about the dove, I go back to Luke chapter 3, during the baptism of Jesus. And the Holy Spirit descended upon him in bodily form like a dove. So we've got these two conflicting symbolism, like pictures in our mind, right? We got the raven who didn't come back to him, and we've got the dove who did come back to him, and the raven has symbolism of the flesh or Satan, and the dove is like the Holy Spirit, and it comes back to Noah. When there's no peace on the earth, it comes back to Noah, and it leads him and guides him. So I just wanted to talk about that today, and I want to hear what you guys think about the raven and the dove, what it means to you, what you understand from it, or what you've been taught. But I want to take this a little out of context here and just think about what the raven and the dove means for us as believers and how we can use that in our lives. Now you think, oh, my neighbors are going crazy with their car. Anyway, there it is again. How do I want to phrase this? Be like the dove. And we're going to imagine the ark as God and his protection. And we're going to imagine coming back to the ark as coming back to God. So we're going to go out through all the earth. We're going to go look and see if there's any dried up land anywhere where we could settle. But if there's not, we're going to come back to God. We're not going to be like the raven who just flew all over the earth, even though there was nowhere good to settle. There's no peace. Although I know ravens can go to and fro because they eat dead things. But doves do not eat dead things. And they they're not scavengers like the vultures. So the raven is an unclean bird, and the dove is a clean bird. So all of this is symbolism. And if we're taking it as that type of symbolism, the crow is like your flesh. Meaning, when you don't have God in your life, when you leave God, you run away from the ark. And you're living on your flesh. What does that mean for you? I mean, think about that in your own personal life. What has that done for you? Or maybe you're not a believer. Your whole life, you've been lost. But if you are led by the Spirit, if you become like the dove, even if you get lost, you go out into the waters, there's nowhere to settle. So you go try something on your own and it doesn't work out. Come back to the ark. Come back to God. Let him guide you. Let him be your safety. Let him be your rock. And he will eventually give you the dry lands. He'll show you where you're supposed to go. Because even when God floods the entire earth and the waters are covering the mountaintops, he's still there and he's still going to provide you safety. Whether it be in the form of an ark or whatever it means in your current situation, he will guide you and he will be there. And that's his job as the Holy Spirit. He lives inside of you. And he guides you. And he gives you peace when you don't see it. I'm realizing I've made this entire video and I didn't really have a plan of where I was going, but I think that's good. I want this to be a moment where you reflect on your own day, on your own week, the last year. With all your problems, have you gone to God? Or like my neighbors, have you set off your car alarm over and over and decided to live in your flesh and do it your own way? That is your question. And let me know. How's it gone for you? Tell me your story. I want to hear it. Tell me what you think about this story. Or what you've been taught about the raven and the dove and what it means. Because I'm new to this as well. So I can keep learning. But yeah. God bless.